Hey, hey, hey! How are we doing, everyone? Everyone, me, because there's no one on yet. Hope you're all well. It is Tuesday, the 22nd of January here. Hey, hey, Bob! Nice of you to join me. It's a little bit later than I thought I was going to be on, but I finally got there. And only because my mind's been like, oh, I might talk about this. No, I'll talk about this. No, I'll talk about that. And I've been a little bit scatterbrained. Actually, I wasn't even going to do it. I'm feeling a little bit down today. Down as a, meh. Yeah, you're still awake for this one. Okay, all right, I'll get it done. Okay, so the subject that I wanted to talk about is, and I suppose we were all thinking about the future of our jobs. And so, this whole thing about artificial intelligence and robots replacing our jobs sort of comes to mind. And there's a lot of articles that you can read on. You just only have to Google and you see a lot of the stats already happening. But one of the interesting ones that I read is that robots are going to be replacing at least 50% of jobs, human jobs that are currently being completed by humans, in particular jobs that are of a repetitive nature. So it's just constant repeating, like your production line jobs. And we're seeing that happen already. Amazon is one of the biggest players in that space. And if you've sold anything through Amazon, you will know that the packaging is really critical for whether they accept your product or not. And the packaging requires you to have barcodes on them. And so when you're sending it in, the artificial intelligence looks at your product, keys and everything, sees what you've got, and by barcode, every time an order comes in, a robot shoots out, grabs that product, takes it off, all the data's updated for stock take, and the product's sent out. And that's how quickly they do things. And that's only with 20% of the labour force that would have normally have been there, going out, filling the order, finding the product, updating stock take, already currently being replaced. Chatbots. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that is what they say is going to replace 80% of call centre jobs. And your chatbots, we're starting to see here in Australia, the example I'll use is when you ring some of the government departments, I know with the tax office, they will record your voice as your ID. So you don't even have to go through and, do your name, address, when was the last time you did your tax? You don't have to go through that whole ID process anymore. You read a statement, it's similar to a fingerprint. And then every time you call in, the phone system recognizes your voice, and that's how you're ID'd. So you don't have to go through the whole process again. So, you can't ring up and pretend to be your daughter anymore. Right. Okay. No, I've just heard about that. So little things like that. Large supermarket distribution centres, and this has impacted on family members recently, we heard. They've been told in 6 months' time they will be getting packages. These are people that have been there for many, many years, like 10 years or so, and don't know any other skill. And so that's almost like a whole industry being wiped out. And even if, some articles are saying, well, they'll never replace humans. Well, of course they won't replace humans. It takes humans to build these things and maintain these things, right? But, who wouldn't reduce your outgoings, your expenditure by 80% if you can replace that cost with a robot? Like, it's pretty crazy stuff. So rather than be the voice of doom and gloom, I just wanted to really talk about how that then triggers, well, where do we sit here, and how do we, they say 90% of what happens to you is how you respond to it. 10% is what's happened, 90% is how you respond to it. Hey, Mary, how you doing? And so in terms of, technology and how that's moving and the types of jobs that will overtake, I guess that really puts that bomb under us to start asking the question, okay, what are the new skills I need to learn? And this is where it's an interesting thing, because a whole lot of changes in culture, work culture, and I suppose as employees, as we get older, we don't have a lot of patience for micromanaging, and, team leaders and managers that probably, may or may not be as skilled in their roles as we would like them to be. And so when you start to think about, well, what else I want to do, this is the time to start doing that. This is the time to start looking at what other skills can you learn that you can then apply to earning a different type of income. Now, we know that learning new skills and applying those skills and getting a return on that investment in your learning takes time. So my thoughts are, don't wait around. Don't be vulnerable to waking up one morning, getting into work, and suddenly having that golden handshake to say, sorry guys, we've just replaced all your roles. That's really being disempowered. And I think what I wanted to really talk about is taking back control and saying, holy, I need to learn a new skill anyway, because the old brain needs to be challenged. So why not learn skills in the digital era? And I think that's probably what's the most empowering thing about what we're doing in digital marketing, and learning about digital marketing and social media and how algorithms work. It takes time to learn these things. It takes implementing and, tweaking and changing and adjusting. And it's important to start taking those steps now and, failing as quickly as you can so that you can get up and walk again and just, make as much progress as you can. So that's really all I wanted to talk about today, is to not ignore what's going on, but also not be fearful of, the whole thing of AI or artificial intelligence, because the world still needs us. You cannot replace who we are with robots. Yes, some of the tasks, the day-to-day tasks can be replaced, but you cannot replace human relations. And so a lot of, roles that require you tapping into feelings and, talking to people about pain points and coming up with ways of solving their problems, you can't replace that. Can't replace it at all. So I'm glad to be part of this movement into digital marketing. I'm so glad that I'm getting to learn new skills that really are going to be it's irreplaceable. We are constantly evolving in this whole space, because it's not just about the digital side of things, it's our the transformation that goes on in here as well. So that's my thoughts. Anyone wanted to maybe contribute something here? I know bananas. Yeah, I know. Mum used to ring up. No, I won't get that. I won't get that. All right, so that's me for today. It's a short one. I've only done this in 10 minutes. Thank you. Have a good night, everyone, all my people. Have a good night and a nice rest of sleep. Hi to anyone that tunes in after this. So if you can hashtag replay, and keen to hear your thoughts as well on all of this technology and artificial intelligence that's happening. All right, take care. Have a good night. Bye bye.